This is News on Friday.
Greetings and Happy New Year. We trust you had a delightful holiday season. Welcome to News on Friday, where we delve into the most significant stories unfolding across the vast and diverse landscape of the African continent. Join us as we embark on this weekly journey connecting you with the pulse of Africa. This is your to-go-to source for staying informed on the latest happenings that really matter. So let's dive into the heartbeat of this continent, exploring the stories that resonate and impact lives. Welcome to News on Friday.
Today we take a comprehensive look at how the Kenya private alliance sector is handling youth innovation. Later on, we focus our lenses on Tanzania, where young change makers are driving advocacy in their communities. And courtesy of Corporate Staffing Solutions, we have top job interview tips just for you.
That's very true. Of course, we are live across the continent and globally from the Kwelib TV studios here in Nakuru, Kenya. I'm Caleb Koyo.
And I am Roxana Gishia.
Let the broadcast begin. Now, under the guidance of Chairman Francis Gishaba, the Kenya Tourism Board, KTB, is poised to roll out extensive capacity building initiatives tailored for young entrepreneurs venturing into the tourism sector across diverse counties. The objective of this program is to enhance their competence in the ever-evolving field of hospitality.
Chairman Gishaba underscored the prevailing challenge wherein numerous youth in region based with tourism potential lack the expertise to engage effectively and deliver enriching experiences for visitors. Recognizing this gap, KTB's initiative is strategically designed to address this need, providing young entrepreneurs with skills to thrive in the dynamic landscape of the tourism industry.
Kenya Kwanza Economic Transformation Agenda bottom-up is meant to bring development from the grassroots up. So when tour operators come on board, those are new job opportunities that are being created at that particular level. Then we also expect the hotels here to get busier. When hotels get busier, then it means there will be more employment opportunities for the people coming from this region. When hotels get busy again, there will be more food demand that is required into these establishments. So it is going to have a cyclical and bigger transformation.
The Africa Digital Access Initiative program is spearheading a transformative movement in Uganda, empowering the youth with essential skills in information and communication technologies, data analysis, algorithms, and beyond.
More than just fostering technical proficiency, the ADAI program is a catalyst for constructing a sustainable future. Through a blend of hands-on training, real-world projects, and a comprehensive curriculum, they are shaping tomorrow's leaders, equipping them with the necessary tools to innovate and excel in ever-evolving digital landscape.
It's been a year and we have gotten a vast experience in the training both teachers and students in mapping, how to add features on the map, and also explain to them the importance of maps. They are used in every aspect of life, in education, in politics, in economics. When we talk about mapping, we talk about adding features, adding both natural and artificial features on the map. That is using computers and a network connection. We have a platform that is called OpenStreetMap. It is a worldwide website that you have to create an account and you become one of the contributors on the map.
Today we are talking about My School Today, and this is basically on the mapping part. The reason as to why we say My School Today, we need you to do the mapping yourselves for the areas around the school. Before we do the mapping, we have to create the email. And after creating the emails, it will drive us now to creating the OSM account, of which we have so far created. And after creating the OSM account, we shall be able to make the contributions.
It has done a lot to us during the COVID fight. It is the VHTs that were reporting to us and direct on phone. And so we would easily remove this suspect very fast before they transmit the infection. And we would isolate them. We would manage them for those that we would find that they are sick. And so the transmission rate here was cut off.
The AERA Digital is dedicated to empowering individuals with cutting-edge digital skills, mentorship, and access to online work opportunities. In pursuit of this commitment, they prioritize the continuous improvement of their trainers' ability to deliver top-notch quality. In recent development, the AERA Digital team participated in a rigorous training of trainers TOT program.
This initiative aimed to sharpen their skills, ensuring a more enriching AERA experience for you. As a result, they are better equipped to provide a comprehensive and high-quality training that aligns with the evolving demand of the digital landscape, ultimately enhancing your journey with AERA Digital.
These teams support youth who visit the centers, and it is important for them to be in sync with each other so that whatever is happening at the institution level is also happening at the community level at the centers. I'm so happy today because the teams will be able to know and understand each other. One, it will create harmony, and they will be able to work together to support the program and go further.
As I said earlier, this is one program that gives our ministry the limelight. And anytime you mention AERA, and especially the numbers, Simon will tell you, any training you do in any single day, it is reported to us. There are even people who call back to check whether they are true or we are cooking them.
The number of young people that we've trained since we started in January 2020 is 343,000 young people. Absolutely give yourselves a round of applause.
Excellent.
We have close to 800,000 young people leaving universities and TVETs every year. And then we all have to compete on the 3 million jobs that are formal. So what's the bridging benefit? It's definitely digital technology.
So a bit about Immobilis. We started 13 years ago, and the reason that we started was to deal with the unemployment crisis. 40% unemployment in a country where the majority of the citizenry are young people just seemed unacceptable to us. And we felt if young people have the skills and the knowledge, they'll be able to take on these jobs.
There are two aspects of branding we're going to cover today. The first one is personal branding, and number two, it's professional networking. In your personal branding, how are you putting yourself out there in a way that reflects the best of you?
The last 2 days has been great. I've been able to learn more on Immobilis. Again, I've been able to understand the AERA Digital program more, and also the goals that Immobilis has, and also the overall program.
This TOT has really impacted my life because I come to interact with my colleagues, and I've also been able to gain some skills about branding as a center manager and as a trainer.
We've been able to learn about web development and how you need to be able to connect the Kenyan youths with the current skill sets that are required by the market. One of the experts that we had on board took us through some of the current IDEs that you can be able to introduce your trainees to, so that they can be able to match the skills that the market requires from a trainee or even someone who's trying to join the job market.
So on our session tumejifunza different softwares ambazo tutatumia kama trainers, so that tukienda kwa community yetu tutajua ni vipi vijana wetu tutawafunza. Mimi mwaka ujao 2024, mimi kama mwakilishi wa alama ambaye ni trainer on the AERA Digital program, mipango yangu ni kuwakuza vijana wetu na jamii yetu kwa jumla kwa njia tofauti tofauti ambazo watapata kazi kwa mtandao. Niweze kurecord more impact stories ranging up to 50 impact stories.
When I say deep and impact, I mean more young people trained getting jobs. So it's not just about the numbers of those we are training and mentoring. Number 2, how can we reach more young women? Number 3, how can we make sure we're not leaving out persons living with disabilities? Our mission remains the same: to create opportunities for African youth by training them on digital, software, and other technologies that prepare them for the future of work and emerging technologies, and equipping them with marketable, relevant skills.
In the competitive landscape of job interviews, candidates often find themselves navigating a mysterious realm where success is determined not only by qualifications but also by the mystery of hidden interview secrets.
Understanding secret tips about interviews can really help you get your dream job. To help us look into the hidden things employers don't usually talk about in job interviews, we turn to Corporate Staffing Solutions, a leading human resource company based in Nairobi, Kenya.
Those who try to tell you, sometimes they may not give you the true picture of what it is to work there. Meaning, you need to do your own research and know about the organization. Also, something else about compensation. They may not tell you. Some companies will not actually reveal what they are willing to pay for this position, and they leave it to you to actually tell them what is your expectation. So any candidate, any professional looking to change jobs, change companies, whenever you're going for that interview, therefore, always do research about the market rate for that salary, look at the organization itself. Also research about the internal issues that could be going on in the company, because you don't want to make this transition and then it becomes to be a terrible mistake you've made in your career. Because you not want to regret leaving your stable employer, then join another company that has issues. Because, of course, no employer will tell you about the internal politics, will not tell you about the rate of turnover, how many people have been in this position and have exited without finishing maybe a year or 2 years. So these are things that you need to work on as a candidate. So basically, I would say the secret is preparation. Yes.
And as part of preparation, getting to know more about your potential employer.
Exactly.
Great. Interview coaching being one of the key services we offer here at Corporate Staffing. Tell me more about what the candidate should expect when they come for mock interview preparations.
Thank you, Mary. So this is a service that was birthed out of the many experiences we had as an organization, because you meet a candidate, very experienced, has everything that an employer is looking for. But the problem becomes how to package themselves in terms of presentation, in terms of their skill set and experiences. They get there and they don't talk about the things that the employer is looking for. Because in every job description or in every filling process, there is always the deal breakers, whatever an employer is looking for.
MServe supports and builds the capacities of youth and local communities to develop solutions that have social impact. They place emphasis on skills enhancement, enterprise development, and linking the youth to available opportunities locally and beyond. Consequently, they empower communities to tap into the limited resources they have.
In addition, they identify social issues and craft and pursue solutions that work. With a soft spot for the last mile communities, the youth and vulnerable populations in rural areas and urban informal settlements, they aim to increase their participation in community and national development.
My name is Martin Irongo. I'm a co-founder and the Executive Director of Empower and Serve Kenya, or MServe. Empower and Serve Kenya started in the year 2015, but formally registered in the year 2016. The idea and the motivation behind the formation of the organization was the growing unemployment rates among the young people, and the understanding of the potential that the young people do have in view of improving their standards of living in their communities. And therefore, Empower and Serve Kenya is founded to empower young people to be drivers of change in the communities that they come from, through granting them the knowledge, skills, and the opportunities that they need to be able to execute the same. We have been able to impact quite a significant number of young people through our programs. If I would reference like the M-Youth program, which was actually our very first program that we did, which was an Erasmus program in collaboration with partners from 12 different countries. We were able to train and equip over 30 young people within the country, and from which we were able to send at least 3 participants for a gala award in Macedonia, and they won some grants that enabled them to work on their startups. For another project that I would like to mention is the Digital program, which is a training program for rural youth, which we have been implementing largely in Kajiado. We have been able to train over 300 young people with basic ICT skills and entrepreneurship, with over 60% of the participants being able to start their small enterprises, while a significant number also are prepared to join institutions of higher learning.
Amref Health Innovations, in partnership with the U.S. Embassy here in Kenya, executed an inclusive employment readiness initiatives for Kenyan youths. This initiative took place in Nairobi, Mombasa, Lamu, and Nakuru, involving over 250 individuals aged between 18 and 35. The training actually covered essential topics such as digital skills, problem solving, time management, effective communication, diversity, equity, inclusion, and CV writing.
By completing the program, participants gained vital employability and digital skills, promoting collaboration and mentorship culture. Ongoing partnerships now connect these young individuals to promising career and business opportunities, both locally and internationally. By completing the program, participants gained vital employability and digital skills, promoting collaboration and mentorship culture. Ongoing partnerships now connect these young individuals to promising career and business opportunities, both locally and internationally. This accomplishment marks a significant stride in nurturing a more robust and dynamic workforce.
The Tech Opportunity Summit that we have at the Microsoft ADC is a culmination of all that work, over 1,000 hours of training, equally as much time of mentoring. Over 300 young people have been trained across the country in those 4 locations. And the goal is to think about inclusiveness at the workplace by not separating persons with disability and those without.
With the summit, we partnered with AMREF and with the American Spaces because they also have a lot of programs that focus on youth empowerment. Empowering the youth is big for Microsoft, and that's where we come in to really see how we can really positively impact young people and their career choices.
With that, it's time to look at more stories making headlines across the African continent this week, and we start this quick African tour here in Kenya, Homa Bay, where the governor, Gladys Wanga, just concluded the world-based student bursary distribution that has been going on for the last 10 days. Throughout this initiative, 2,532 checks were issued to student beneficiaries hailing from Kojuach, Kakelo, Kokwanyo, East and West Kabonde wards in Rachonyo, East Sub-County, as well as Kibiri in Rachonyi North. This county-wide endeavor involved meeting and engaging with both students and their parents, resulting in successful awarding of bursaries to around 22,157 secondary, college, and university students.
The county government's commitment to supporting children's education remains a cornerstone of its mission. As the bursaries are now in the hands of the students, the county government extends its best wishes to wish them for success in their studies.
Back to Nakuru City, where county government, in collaboration with the Family Bank Foundation and other like-minded organizations, are actually supporting needy students in the county to fulfill their academic dreams through the bursaries and scholarship programs. The County Executive Committee member for Education, ICT and E-Government, Honorable Zipporah Wamboi, flagged off the Family Bank Foundation scholarship beneficiaries for bright students from disadvantaged backgrounds in Nakuru County.
Zipporah also highlighted the governor's support through bursaries, noting that this financial year, the bursaries allocation increased from 177 million to 342 million, set to benefit close to 70,000 college, secondary, university and special school students. She said that the bursary will be launched by Her Excellency Governor Susan Kihika this month.
Coming up next, the highly anticipated Festac annual festival for this year has actually arrived, bringing an exciting opportunity for aspiring entrepreneurs to secure seed capital for their businesses. Stay tuned for more details after this short break. Don't go anywhere. There's still much more on the other side of this broadcast. Stay with us.
The future is youthful. The future is skillful. The future is you. Kama kijana, all you need is a chance and a place to apply your knowledge and skills to shape future yako. Technical and vocational education and training zinakupea the life skills zenye zitakuwezesha kushape future yako. Kwa kudevelop professional interest, talents na passion zako, una gain power ya create jobs, drive entrepreneurship na increase socio-economic prospects zako.
I came here to shine. The reason I don't want killing at my shows.
Are you ready for the future? Ujuzi ni kazi.
It's buried in my soul. Najua mimi ndo next.
Welcome back. This is News on Friday. Festac Africa Festival is Africa's leading festival that aims to celebrate Africa's culture and diversity through music, dance, fashion, travel, tourism, hospitality, storytelling, arts, culture, and heritage. They do this while creating networking opportunities that amplify trade and business opportunities for our proudly made in Africa products, goods, and services across various countries in Africa.
And good news is that you can now pitch your business at the Festac Africa Festival 2024 in Kisumu, Kenya, taking place from the 20th to 26th of May, and you actually stand a chance to win an impressive $5,000 as grants to fuel the growth of your business.
Get a seed capital of $5,000 to either use to set up the business or enhance the business that they are currently running. The most important input into this application process is the business idea that you have. It has nothing to do with your qualifications or what you have done. It's simply speaking to the idea that you have, because that is what is aimed at setting up a good and a sustainable business. So that is that part of it, because we love Africa, and like my chairman will say, democratizing luck across Africa is one of the best ways to set up entrepreneurship.
I was elected in 2015 to the first time Solidarity Memory Foundation was being launched. And I'm lucky to say that I was selected top 1,000 SMEs across Africa. I got the seed funding in 2015, $5,000, which I invested in my business. Currently I'm doing sports tourism. I'm just mentioned to the ticket. I've mentioned to you I'm doing sports tourism. It's a unique concept where we are promoting tourism through sports, because we believe sports has the potential to move a lot of people from one destination to another. So it will be an honor also to working with Festa 2024 as we progress towards the main activities next year. So I'm happy being part of UDM and I appreciate it.
Enhancing employment opportunities has taken an even stronger position on center stage in development policy discussions. The reasons are obvious. Billions of people in the developing world are trying to exit poverty through better jobs, providing higher incomes for themselves and their families.
Owing to the high share of youth in the working age population compared with other regions, much of the employment discussions are now being centered on youth's opportunities and challenges, and how to address these interventions have mostly focused on how to make youth better. But this actually ignores a very big fundamental fact. What youth really lack are economic opportunities. Take a look.
This graph I prepared in 2013. This is actually the data are basically 2010, 2011. This graph took me in 2013 9 months to prepare. 9 months. That's pretty bizarre. Yeah, exactly. Why is that? Because I had to use household survey data. The data were inconsistent. They measured it complete, and to make consistent data with the same assumptions about labor force participation, et cetera, across Africa, it took us 9 months. And that by itself is why policymakers and governments and stakeholders never really understood the problem, is nobody had the patience to sit down and do that data. Now, that's, we can say, a crime that it took 9 months. Okay, but I did it. And I showed, hey guys, this is where Africa's working. And where Africa's working is a lot most people in Africa say their primary employment is in agriculture. And a whole bunch of people say their primary employment is household enterprises. These are enterprises that are kind of either self-employment or self-employment just with the family. And they don't necessarily operate out of the house. They could have like a little kiosk or something, or they could have a market stall, or they could be roving the streets. If you've been to a developing country, those people who rove the streets. We call those household enterprises too.
In their pursuit of collaboration and opportunities, the Lamu Youth Assembly has now found a valuable partner in the Kenya Ports Authority. This collaboration isn't just symbolic, it's a gateway to new responsibilities. The Kenya Ports Authority plays a pivotal role in educating the youth on acquiring tenders, a crucial step towards economic empowerment that promises to reshape their destinies. The Lamu Youth Assembly is actively engaged in a transformative alliance that holds the promise of a bright future for the youth of Lamu.
That's very true. Their message echoed across the airwaves during a momentous radio talk show at Radio Lamu. The event was graced by esteemed figures such as the President, the Speaker, the Cabinet members and MPs. It was not just a success, it was actually enlightening. A very good session that delved into pressing issues like drug abuse, radicalization, violent extremism, and explored new opportunities for the youth in Lamu and the entire coastal region.
My name is Nancy Washira. I am a journalist from Radio Lamu and also a community advocacy for girl child or women. Youths have now come to know their position in the community. Now that they have been giving them educations in terms of the benefits that they're supposed to gain in the community. One thing I would like to speak about is the KPA projects. Lamu Youth Assembly conducted an event together with the KPA. They educated youths on the projects and the opportunities that are there in the KPA and how they are going to get it, of which it's still pending because they're coming back now with those projects. We are expecting them so far. Another issue which is a big achievement is on bursary issues. In case students have issues, Lamu Youth Assembly have CS of every department, of which they work closely with the county government as well. They make sure every student access bursary no matter where they come from. Another thing, or the other project that they did recently was about the Mukoe, was about peace building in Mukoe, of which we had stakeholders and the security and the community. That was a big achievement according to me because By the time the project was done, it was so close that the security agencies and the community had known their differences, and they agreed that they are going to work together, and they got to understand each other because there were some differences. Now that the community view the security, they think that they mistreat them, and these community members were like, we can't accept to be mistreated. That's why we don't want to bring cases. In case we find someone who is doing wrong to the community, we can't report. Not that you can. They thought that the security members were going not to accept and maybe blame everybody in that community. But so far, I can say it was a good achievement that the differences will be able to be solved using this Kwa Pamoja Tuzuie Balaa project that Lamu Youth Assembly had.
That story right there brings us to the end of the first News on Friday broadcast this year. So you stay safe and be good. Can I ask you something, Rock, though, before we actually finish this broadcast?
Okay.
What do you think about the independent woman, baby girl mentality?
I mean, being independent in today's world is very important. But again, nobody don't want to be taken care of. Baby girl era. I mean, did you know? Did you see how people were praying on 31st?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like they were suffering last year, so people were just making prayers, telling God, God, when you're choosing your strongest soldiers, please do not select me in that.
Okay.
Everybody wants to be the baby girl. Everybody wants to be the baby boy. So
what I think is that baby girl is just a good way to say that a girl is lazy, and independent women mentality, don't take that into your homes. Please leave it by the gate, and I hope to see you again next week outside the gate with your independence. Take care. I'm Caleb Coyle.
And I am Roxana Gishia. See you next Friday.